All right, we are live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. You know, we've got friends from all over, from the United States, from Australia, from Europe, from all over. So I want to welcome you to the second live video in Help with Facebook Ads for Business. I hope you had a great week. I hope you got a lot done. I hope it was productive. And you made money and you made differences in people's lives with Facebook ads, because that's what this group is about. It is about empowering you and giving you the strategies and value to go out and do it on your own and not waste money and be effective at it. So today we're going to be talking about Facebook ad budgets, money, optimization, all that fun stuff. So I've had a lot of questions this week. A lot of them were talking about, Daniel, what should I be spending per day? Daniel, how long should I leave an ad running? Daniel, what should I be looking for in my ads? And a lot of people have a lot of different answers. So you may get somebody saying, you just want to run $1 a day. And then you got other people saying, well, start them at $1,000 a day and just see what happens. No, listen. You've got to find the strategy that works for you, and I'm going to help you out today. So, like I said, we're going to cover bidding. We're going to cover budgets. We're going to cover money, fiscal responsibility. So think of this as like an intro to spending money on Facebook correctly 101. So you're going back to college real quick, and we're going to learn. So listen. You've heard it all before. You launch a new ad set with your product, with your service, with your, brand awareness, and you set it on a test budget of $5 to $20 per day. So you think you're rolling cool. You got one ad set, one campaign, no split test. You let it run for 3 days, but you're not getting any conversions. So now you spent, $50. All right. Well, what do? So the problem is, if you're not getting, about 50 conversions a week, and that's Facebook's standard, that's their learning straight from the mouth of Facebook. If you're not getting about 50 conversions a week, then the ad set's not going to take off. I'll get to that more in a few minutes here. So let me just jump into it real quick. We all know Facebook is very powerful. We all know Facebook is smarter than you, than I, than anybody really in the world, because it's machine learning. When I say that, I mean it's all done by computers, all done by numbers and data. If we think about it, 1 billion people in the world access Facebook daily. I can't even imagine how huge that is. Number one, to have the capacity to handle everybody like that, but 1 billion people, that's what, 1/7 of the world population access Facebook every day. They're interacting, they're liking pages, they're commenting, they're going to links, they're clicking on ads, pretty much everything. And so Facebook tracks what they do, who they are, what they interact with. They track it every single second of every single day. So when you think about that, Facebook is very, very smart. It really knows 1/7 of the world's population. That's crazy. So when you think about it, thinking about your ads, let's say, for example, you're selling a product. Let's say you're selling kitten mittens, for example. Okay, everybody loves kitten mittens if you have a cat. So you've got a product and you start a couple ads. You start them at $5 a day, and they're rolling. Maybe one gets one purchase, maybe another gets 2 purchases at $10 per purchase. Well, your margins, and the cost needed, the maximum cost to acquire a purchase that you can spend. Maybe your mittens cost you $10. Well, if you spend $5 and you got $5 left, if you're selling them for $10, you got $5 left, and then, it costs you $2. So, you're making, $2 or $3 on profit. So of course you're like, okay, well, I can spend up to $5 to acquire that purchase, That's great. However, if you're running an ad set, think about this. If you're running an ad set at $5 a day and you're getting a purchase at $5, so you're getting one purchase a day pretty much, then you're not going to be able to optimize it because, like I said, Facebook needs about 50 conversions per week to optimize it correctly. Let's pull out the calculator. So 50 conversions a week divided by 7 days. We need 7 purchases per day for Facebook to actually learn. So when you think about that, if you're running at $5 a day and you're getting one purchase a day, well, it's never really going to take off. You'll just be running down the runway, all happy, getting one purchase a day. However, if you want to scale, then that's where we need to do a little math. So think about it this way. If you want to have your ad sets optimized, and optimization happens at the ad set level, it doesn't happen in the campaign, it doesn't happen within the ad. Optimization, meaning Facebook will learn and it'll start targeting people who are more likely to purchase, things like that. Optimization happens at the ad set level. And another thing to keep in mind is duplicating an ad set. When you go and you're like, oh, this is a winner, let me change an audience, let me change a variation, let me change the targeting a bit. Duplication won't transfer that optimization data. Does that make sense? If you're duplicating an ad set, don't expect it to have the same results right out the gate. Of course, we all know it takes about 2 to 3 days for Facebook to really learn a new ad set, a new campaign, and really bump it up to speed. So we know that optimization happens at the ad set level. And we also know that duplicating an existing ad set won't transfer the data. You won't get sales like that right out of the gate. It won't have the same data. So now that we know that, we can infer that any and all ad sets start at 0. If you need 50 conversions a week and you duplicate something, you're not, getting 2 plus 2 equals 4. You're getting 2 plus 0 equals 2. So going back to that, if we're running an ad at $5 a day and we really need 7 purchases per day or leads or add to carts or, view content, things like that, then we need to think about the budget. So let's apply some simple math here. I'm going for the purchase because that's what a lot of you are trying to run ads for. Of course, if you're a service-based business, you probably run it for leads or opt-ins or registrations, things like that. So let's just take, for example, the purchase. And we're going to stick with our example, the kitten mittens, running at $5 per purchase. So basically, if you're running an ad set at $5 per day, then you're getting 1 per day. So if you choose to optimize for the purchase event and your cost per purchase is $5, then we need 5 times 7. To be on the safe side, let's add a little buffer. We need 5 times 10. We need $5 times 10 purchases because it costs us, $5 per purchase on average. So $50. And what does that mean? Well, that means that you need to spend $50 per day to get Facebook to optimize it. So you're saying, whoa. I don't have $50 per day. See, a lot of you think that, just jump out of the gate and run at $100 and see what happens. Shotgun. Whoa, let's go. Stop. No, you don't need to be doing that. When I say that you need to start your ads at a budget of anywhere from $5 to $20 per day, that's for testing purposes. So when we know that the cost per purchase is $5, that's because we've gotten data from Facebook. We've let an ad set run and we see that it has purchase data. We see, and so over the past 7 days, 14 days, we see that on average, it costs $5 to acquire a purchase. $5 to acquire a purchase, $5 per day, 1 sale a day. Are you still with me? So if we actually want to scale that up, and if you're profitable, then you can either duplicate the ad set and bump it to $50 per day, or you can increase the budget about 20%, every 3 days or so on that existing ad set. Did you hear that? you can duplicate an ad set and bump it to 50 per day because you're targeting the right audience with the right creative, with the right ad, and you're getting purchases. Or you can bump up that budget by about 20% every 3 days. Because like I said before, Facebook takes about 2 to 3 days on average to really learn a new ad campaign, and an ad set. One thing to keep in mind is that, Facebook wants you to spend money. I know, shocker, right? That's their whole, thing. If Facebook didn't want you to spend money, they wouldn't offer advertising. They wouldn't offer, media buys. So that's the reason why Facebook is worth, 10 billion, 20 billion, $100 billion, whatever it is right now. I don't know it off the top of my head. Because advertisers pay to play pretty much. So if Facebook wants you to spend money, then, its algorithm is about spending money to test and then spending money to scale. So keep that in mind. But spending money is a good thing here. A lot of people think, I don't need to spend money. $5 a day is fine. Well, that's great. All right, you're going to get one purchase a day. I hope you're happy with one purchase a day. However, think about it this way. Spending money means you are buying data. And you're buying data about your customers. You're buying data about people who didn't purchase. You're buying data about people who opted in, added to cart. You're buying data. So you're buying data for, to feed your Facebook pixel. And if you don't have that data, if you don't have that pixel set up, which if you don't have a pixel set up, oh my goodness, stop this video right now. Go watch another video. I think it's in the group. It's like, what is a Facebook pixel? If I don't have it in the group, tell me right now and I'll post it up. So if you're buying data to feed the Facebook pixel, then that's what the optimization is all about. It's about getting enough data so that Facebook recognizes who to target, who purchased, who doesn't purchase, who doesn't even click, things like that. So in the long run, Facebook will target your ads more and more and more and more to people who are most likely to do XYZ, purchase, lead if you're doing service-based business, lead gen, purchase if you're doing a product, digital or physical. So it's a good thing that you're spending money because you're buying data, and data equals optimization. Data equals ad set optimization. Remember that. So when you think about it, if I want to be successful with Facebook ads, then it's all about buying data, because data equals optimization, and optimization equals scaling. So really, let me just recap here. You want to establish a baseline, and you want to start your ads, and whether you're doing a split test between 5 variations of ads, maybe it's just a subtle change like a headline change, or maybe it's a massive change like the style of, maybe it's a video versus a picture. So when I say split test, a lot of you know what I'm talking about, but let me just recap on split test. It's a way to split your test. I mean, it's in the word here. So when I create an ad set, then I have multiple ads in that ad set, because like I always say, if you give somebody chocolate ice cream at an ice cream shop and they don't like chocolate, they're not going to want a smaller bite of chocolate. They're going to want strawberry or vanilla, or no ice cream at all, a donut. Pictures versus videos ads, headline 1 versus headline 2, long copy versus short copy, thumbnail 1 versus thumbnail 2. Maybe it's a green image, maybe it's a blue image. You need to test what works for your audience. So when you set it up, when I set it up, if you're a successful Facebook advertiser, you're going to set up an ad set with multiple ads because you want to split test. Of course, you can gauge what ads work the best. Facebook will automatically allocate, the budget to ones that perform better. Thanks, Facebook, for that. So you don't have to be standing there at your computer, 24 hours a day. Oh man, Facebook is okay. I got to turn off this ad. I got to switch on this ad, boost the budget on this one. No, Facebook will do a lot for you. It does the heavy lifting, and that's what you need to keep in mind. Keep in mind that Facebook is there for a reason, and its algorithm is there for a reason. So let it do a lot of the work. So when you set up your ad set, you have multiple ads. Now you're targeting one audience in that ad set. Remember, ad sets equal targeting. But what if you want to target a different audience? Maybe that audience doesn't even purchase or generate a lead or whatever. Well, you need to split test your ad sets too. And what I mean by that is you need to change up your targeting. And if you don't know how to do that, I did a great video on audience insights. So if you go back and watch that, then you can see how to, find different targeting examples. Maybe if I'm targeting a baby product, maybe I target moms who like Pampers, and then moms who like Baby Gap, and moms who like Target, and then moms who like, I don't know, wine, something like that. Just different interest targeting, different specific targeting, because, what if two ad sets don't convert? Well, then, if you don't have any more than two ad sets, you basically Facebook ads doesn't work. See, and that's a common misconception, because you're not doing it the correct way. And, I'm not trying to be harsh on y'all, but a lot of the times people are so pessimistic with Facebook ads because they didn't set it up the right way. Oh, I spent $100 on this ad and it didn't work. I didn't get any sales, no leads, no nothing. Well, your audience didn't like the chocolate ice cream you're giving them. They wanted strawberry, or they wanted a donut, or they didn't even want to go to the ice cream shop. They wanted to go to a nice restaurant. So you've got to split test and see what works. So back to the beginning here. I know I kind of got a little sidetracked there. So when setting up your ads, you set up some split tests and you set up some ad set split tests. If you're still a little confused on that, post a question in the comments here, and I'll be sure to answer it. Or send me a message on Facebook, or just post in the group. Now, you want to start the ad sets out anywhere from $5 to $20 per day. You want to establish some data. You want to get it going. You're trying to gauge what people interact with, what they respond to, who clicks on what, when, why, and how. So does that make sense? So let those run, until you build up enough data. It's really up to you. I let them run for a minimum of about a week, anywhere from a week to 2 weeks, to see what people respond with. So now, after the 2 weeks, go in and you can look at your data and you can say, oh, I got more clicks on this one. I have a better click-through rate on this one. People responded to this ad, but not this one. Things like that. So you can see what your audience is interacting with. Now comes the fun part. You can scale it. So recap on that. A general guideline is to have a test period to find out what your stable cost per conversion, cost per purchase, cost per lead, cost per opt-in, things like that. So run it, anywhere from $5 to $20 per day per ad set, not campaign, per ad set. If you're running, let's just say you're running 10 different ad set split tests. And inside those 10 different ad set split tests, you have your 5 main ads. Of course, use your existing post to keep social proof. If you don't know how to do that, comment below and I can provide a great article on that. So 10 ad sets, let's just say we're running them for $10 a day. So we're spending about $100 per day. 10 ad sets, $10 per day each, $100 per day. I think that would be a great test. You can run it for about, let's just say 5-6 days. You're spending $600. Well, some of you have $600, some of you don't. I would advise that if you're not able to spend money to buy that data, then, I would look elsewhere for traffic, whether that's, JV, affiliate, partnerships, organic, things like that. That's a completely different topic for another time, but yeah, so you're buying data in the front end. Now you see what works, you see what doesn't. So you say, okay, I'm getting, purchases at $5 a day. $5 per purchase. And I'm running, an ad set at $10 per day. I'm getting 2 purchases a day. I need 7. So what do? Well, I times it by 10. Let's just 10x it. So once you figure out the general baseline cost for your cost per purchase, cost per lead, whatever, you say, okay, duplicate that ad set at a budget that is at least 7 times the cost of that conversion. Add in a little buffer. And that's why I like to do 10 times. So let's say, for example, ad set 1 is the best performing one. You're getting purchases at $5 per day. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to times it by 10, because Facebook needs, at least 7 events per day, whether that's a purchase. So we're going to times it by 10. So 10 times, let's just stick with our example, 10 times 5, 50. All right, so we duplicate that ad set and we bump it up to $50 per day. And now, if let it run for 2 days, and if everything's still on point, then you've got a optimized ad set, and from there you can scale it. So let me check the comments real quick and see if anybody's having any issue with the sound or anything like that, or any questions, because I know I covered a lot right there, and it might be a little overwhelming. All right, let's see. Very good info. Awesome. Excited to learn. Thanks, Preston. Trey gave a thumbs up. Kim says hello. Hello, Kim. All right, so let's see that in action. I'll just do it. I'll set it up for y'all. So I'm going to go into my main ad account right here, Helpful Place Marketing, and we're going to set up some baseline ads used to test data. So we're going to do baseline test, and we're going to target for conversions. We're going to do create new ad set, test ad set 1, test ad 1. All right, I'm not going to fully set it up, meaning I'm not going to, type in different, ad copy and things like that, but I'll show you the bare bones of how it's done. So we go into the campaign, we go into the ad set, and we see, oh, the budget's already $20 per day. Okay, right on point. Well, let's just bump it down to 10. Just for example's sake. And we're going to create, you would actually go into the ad and edit it and things like that. But we're going to go in and we're going to create, let's just say, 5 ad split tests. Okay. Change the page on it. Change the page. There we go. All right. It's given me an error because, I haven't done anything with the ad. It's missing the link. It's missing the image, things like that. So I'm not going to be able to publish it. However, like I said, I'm just setting it up for bare bones sake. All right. You have 5 split tests in that ad set. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to duplicate it. Maybe you want 10 different ad set variations, 10 different targeting. Pay attention to your targeting and make sure that you're not, self-competing, because that's a very real possibility. If you're targeting people who like, wine, and then target people who like, distilled spirits, well, you're probably going to be competing, because if I infer correctly, if people like wine, then, they're going to like spirits, liquor, alcohol. Just keep that in mind. You don't want too much audience overlap, or you're going to be competing against yourself. So what we've done here is we've created 10 ad set split tests at $10 per day. And now you would go in, and one of the ad sets would be your original. They would contain your original ads, OG. All right. And all the others will be not OG, because, they contain existing ads, so you don't use the social, so you don't lose the social proof. So the way you do that is you go in and you would go in here, edit the ad, and you would open it and see it in the Facebook, open it in a new tab right there, and you would capture the post ID. It'd be a string of numbers right there. You'd copy it, and you go back. This is really, I would do this before I duplicated it times 10. So I'm not sitting there doing it for all 10. I would just duplicate it one time, and I'd go in and set it for the first not OG ad set. And then I just duplicate the not OG and change my targeting within that. So I go in and, you know, I do, where is it? There it is. And so I grab the post ID and I click use existing post. I'd enter the post ID. It'd be a string of numbers, not help with ads. I'd submit it, and that's not OG ad 1, and it corresponds to the original ad, OG ad 1. I do it for ad 2, ad 3, ad 4, ad 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever. So once I've done that, then I duplicate the not OG because it holds the existing post. So I don't have to, you know, keep doing that all across 10 ad sets because that would take forever, and I would hate myself for that. So you just duplicate it however many times and then change the targeting in each. Maybe, for example, this one is, you know, we'd select, I'll just select lead for that. You can set it to purchase or whatever your custom conversion is that you're trying to get. Most of the times it'll be purchase. Maybe these people like, you know, wine. There is. And then maybe these people like Target Corporation. And then maybe these people like campers. And then these people like cats. And the way you can find these out is by going to Audience Insights over here, because you're planning. See right there, plan Audience Insights, and you can get a list of, you know, put in your customer profile, choose your age, your gender, things like that. If they're parents or not, just go down the list. It's all in the other video I did, and then you would just go over to page likes, or yeah, I think that's it, page likes, and you'd see what everybody likes, and so you can get different targeting ideas. Maybe it's not cats, maybe it's Walmart. Interesting. People who like cats like Walmart. People who like cats also like Best Buy, Costco, Sam's Club, things like that. Pets, TJ Maxx, Kohl's, cat owners. People who like cats, a lot of them are Facebook page admins. Maybe they have a page for their cat. Maybe they're selling kitten mittens. I don't know. I see a lot of those. So now that you set your ad set split tests, running at $10 a day, you turn them all on, publish it. You got one campaign, baseline test. All right. So we come back a week later or 2 weeks later, and we do it for the last 14 days, and we see, okay, this ad set right here, go over here, that had great data. You know what? Let me just switch over to one that's working right here. So you can actually see some results because that's what it is. I don't want to show you blank results if I actually have different ad accounts with results. Yeah. All right. So this is campaign targeting for leads. So take a look at this real quick. I'm going to sort by the cost per lead. All right. So I can see that this ad set, there was 7 different ad set split tests, not OG. You see the first one has the originals. The others have not OG, because they're existing posts right here of the originals right here. You see? Just an existing post. All right, so we go back here. We sort by the cost per result because that's what we're trying to do. Come on, there we go. So we can see that this first ad set, the original, it doesn't matter that it's the original. I'm not looking at that. It matters that the targeting. It's targeting a lookalike audience from the leads. No detailed targeting from there, just a shotgun approach to a lookalike audience. It's getting leads at 47 cents. It got 130 leads at 47 cents. The next up was a lookalike audience of people who had purchased before. It's getting 79 leads at 87 cents. This was, of course, the budget was a bit higher, so I didn't have to let it run that long. This was about a week. And over the course of a week, 371 leads at 90 cents per lead. And that was actually a webinar registration. So it was a lead. They entered their name, email, and optional phone number, and then got them at 90 cents each. So we look over here, and this was $1.06 per lead. Okay, the ultimate goal right here is to see the data and form, conclusions based on that. But it's also to see, who added to cart, who purchased, things like that. All right. So we look here, and even though it got a lower cost per lead, this first one here, we're still sorted by that. It didn't have as many added to carts as the second one. So even though it was a cheaper cost per lead, I would really want to choose this one. Look, this is double that cost per website add to cart price is double that of this one right here. The purchases lookalike audience was cheaper than the leads lookalike audience. So what I would do is I would go in, turn that off. Still following with me? This was $39. That's crazy. Yeah, let's get that out of here. I don't want to be spending that. This was $22.90. Yeah, turn it off, because I can see here I've got winners right here. $6.82 per add to cart, and it was targeting newborn moms and then moms who like latched mama. Still really don't know what that is. I haven't really gone to the page yet. I don't think I will, but but I can just see from the data that people are interacting with the ads. Not only are they getting leads at $1.11, which is, that's still fine. It's $1. I mean, it'd be fine. But they're getting add to carts at $6.82. All right, so I'd leave that one on. 2005, I'd probably turn this one off. It's the what to expect when you're expecting book, detailed targeting. So now we go in and we have the expensive ones turned off. We have the three top ones turned on. All right, so where do we go from here? So what I would do is I would either take, let me just start with the first train of thought. What I would do is I would duplicate this ad set, boom, right there, not OG, so I don't have to worry about using existing posts. I go over here and I would set that sucker for 10 times the average cost per add to cart. So if I have, where was it? Oh yeah, right here, $6.82 per add to cart, 682 times 10, set it to about $70. Because I want to get add to carts, because add to carts lead to purchases. That's a little confusing. Add to carts, most of the times they purchase. So we're just working ourselves up, the conversion stair step. And plug in my other video. If you haven't watched the stair step conversion video, go back and watch it. A lot of great knowledge and a lot of great information. All right, so $70 per day. And I'll get into the start time in just a second. Make sure I'm excluding people who purchased before and opted in, because I don't want to show my ads to people who have already purchased, already opted in, because probably won't click on it again and probably won't purchase again. It's kind of a one-time product. All right, keep the targeting, keep the placements, close it out, publish it, boom. Let that sucker run for at least 3 days so Facebook can learn. And then, another couple days on that, you can draw your conclusions. You can see, oh man, I got 6 times whatever, 6 times 10. I got 60 add to carts per day. All right, that's awesome. And then you may get some purchases after it. If you get purchases, that's awesome. You know that you found a winner, you found a winning audience, things like that. But like I stated in the beginning, it's all about buying data, because once someone clicks, the pixel tracks if they clicked, and then it tracks, if they viewed the landing page for longer than 2 or 3 seconds, and then it tracks if they converted to a lead, and then it tracks if they added to cart, and then it tracks if they purchased, and I have some back-end stuff too. So that's what it's about. It's about buying data so you can optimize. And then once you get it optimized, you can scale it. So I hope everybody's following along here. Let me check on the comments real quick. I think we're still good. Let me go back here. Yeah. All right. So a lot of times people ask, when should I start these ads? What do I need to be doing? So I used to think I could just start them anytime, whatever. It's an ad. It's gonna take a little while to show. It's gonna learn. But then I thought about it. I'm like, wait a second. It's called a daily budget for a reason, because that's what it spends in a day, a 24-hour period. So if I'm starting my ads at 8 a.m., that's still really early. Okay, I don't want to get up any earlier. And I'm starting my ads. I got to jump start on the day. Well, you're already about 1/3 through the day. So Facebook will hurry that first budget, and it'll get you traffic, and it'll get you clicks, and it'll get you leads, but it's going to cost you 33% more per click, per lead, per purchase, per whatever you're trying for. So try to avoid starting it, late in the day. If you're starting your ads at 6 p.m., I feel so sorry for you, because Facebook's going to say, oh, 6 p.m., I've got another 6 hours. Okay, so instead of spending my $60 budget over the course of 24 hours, $2.50 per hour, 60 divided by 6, it's going to spend $10 per hour, and it's not going to ramp it up where you're going to get, leads that much faster. It's going to spend that budget, and it's not really going to know, because like a kid on training wheels, it needs to learn how to ride the bike first. So what do? If we can't start it at 8 a.m. because that's a third through the day, if we can't start it at 6 p.m. because that's later in the day, what do? Well, we schedule it. Oh, Daniel, I completely forgot about scheduling. So you need to start your ads at, right after it hits midnight, or, 1 a.m., things like that. So what I would do is I'd go in and I would say, start it the next day, Saturday, because today's Friday. For everybody who's watching, today's Friday in the United States. For our Australia viewers, I think it's Saturday. Could even be Sunday. I don't know how many days ahead they are. If you're from Australia, comment below. Let me know how many days ahead you are. So what I would do is I would set it to 12:30 a.m. Okay, now we're starting at midnight. Now Facebook has a crazy amount of time. It almost has the full 24 hours to start showing the ads and start learning. So instead of spending that, $10 per hour, it's going to spend it's $2.50, $2.70. So does that make sense for y'all? That kind of answers a question that a lot of people wonder. They're like, when do I start my ads? Should I start it late at night? Should I start it in the morning? Should I start it when I'm eating lunch? No, you don't want to get expensive clicks. You don't want to get expensive leads, because Facebook will hurry up and spend that money, and it also won't know. Remember, like I said, the ad sets start at 0. So you can't duplicate an ad set and expect the same results. I mean, heck, if you're duplicating a split test, then each split test will have its own set of data. So you start at 0. So start your ads, schedule your ads at midnight, unless you're just like, I'm already up at midnight, I'll just start them manually. Sometimes I do that too. Sometimes I set an alarm and wake up, at around 1 a.m. and start the ads, but most of the times I have it scheduled. There's sometimes when I pre-publish an ad just to get it approved on Facebook, and it doesn't let me go back and change the scheduling date, then I have to actually wake up and do it manually and things like that. Not a huge issue, but getting interrupted when sleeping isn't the greatest thing. All right, so to recap real quick, don't be afraid to spend money on Facebook ads. However, it has to be smart money. You can't increase the budget on a losing campaign and expect it to work. What I mean by that is you can't increase the budget on a campaign that is getting 0 clicks, that is getting 100 clicks but no leads, that is getting 50 leads but no purchases. Ultimately, if you're targeting for purchases, that's a losing ad set. So what you need to do is you need to define and get your average, cost per conversion, cost per whatever you're targeting for, whatever you're trying to get. Let it run for about 2 weeks, and then you can duplicate that thing and scale it up. So that covers the basic optimization techniques. That's a way. Combine that with a stair-step conversion method if you don't have a ton of data built up. This covers, really a lot of what you need to know when running the ads. Because like I've said before, a lot of you are running ads, you're running one ad set, one campaign. You're like, oh, I got no sales, but I spent $500. I can't even count how many times I've seen that before. in, you know, other groups, people messaging me personally. I get a ton of messages and they're like, well, I spent $500 and I didn't get anything. I lost $500. I'm like, well, you did and you didn't. See, you spent $500 to acquire the data and get the data that says, oh, hey, Daniel, that ad set doesn't work. You just spent a lot of money on Facebook telling you no. It probably told you no within the first 4 days, but you spent $500 and, you know, Facebook gave you a lot of no's. So pay attention to your analytics. Pay attention to, you know, these little numbers over here. They actually mean something. You know, 51 cents, 80 landing page views, 37 website leads. And this is kind of like the funnel for those familiar with what a funnel is. For example, like here, you know, I see that 80 people went to the website, but 37 people opted in. 37 divided by 80 people, I have a 46% conversion rate. That's right on point with what ClickFunnels says. And then out of those, 6 divided by 37 leads, I had 16% of the people who became leads go to the order form. And overall, 6 divided by 80, that was 7.5% out of the unique visitors that went to the order form. We've had some purchases, but in this campaign, we don't have purchases from this campaign specifically. So let me spend a few minutes talking about manual bidding for our advanced users out there, because a lot of times people are like, okay, you know, ads are chugging along, you know, what else can I do to scale? Well, we can talk about manual bidding for just a second. I'm not going to get too technical with it because, you know, this is a lot of high level strategy, but I want to cover it because that's what this whole live is about. Budgets and how to scale and, you know, how not to waste money. So there's really 5 main manual bidding methods you need to pay attention to. Number 1, and before I cover that, what manual bidding is we all know that Facebook is an auction system, or if you didn't know, well, now I'm going to tell you. Facebook is an auction system. So what I mean by that is that you're up against, let's say you're representing a chiropractor in Memphis, Tennessee. All right. You have a competitor who's running ads for a competing chiropractic business. Maybe it's John's Chiropractic versus Steve's Chiropractic. Well, when you run your ads, you go to the chopping block, the auction block, not the chopping block. You go to the auction block and you say, I'm willing to spend $20 per day. And so Steve's over here saying, I'm willing to spend $100 per day. Well, Steve he's going to win the bid, but it's much more than that. Your ads will still be shown. However, think of it like you're being put into different buckets. You know, you're bidding, what did I say, $10, $20 per day. You're going to be put into the lower quality traffic bucket. Whereas Steve, since he's bidding more, he's going to pay more, he's going to spend more for Facebook to show his ads to better people. He's getting put into the $100 a day bucket. And this all depends on your targeting and things like that. For this example, we're just using the same targeting, people who are interested in chiropractic medicine. All right, that would be one ad set. So you're put into a lower quality bucket. Think of it like when you're going to the auction. If you've ever been to a car auction, I don't know, you know, I haven't, but this is an example that I use. And you're bidding on a Ford Mustang. Okay, well, you bid $100 or you bid $10,000, but Steve comes up and bids $50,000. He wins the Mustang. However, your $10,000 would have gotten you the Ford Focus. So what I mean by that is, think about it. The Mustang versus the Ford Focus. So the Mustang, higher powered, more performance, you know, if you're targeting for speed, you know, if you're targeting for purchases, I'm targeting for speed now because we're at the car auction. He's going to win out. He's going to beat your Ford Focus. However, you still have a car and it still drives and you're still going to go fast, just not as fast as the Ford Mustang. I hope that makes sense to you. I like to kind of provide, thanks Preston. I like to provide information through anecdotes and stories because that's, you know, a lot of times what people can relate to. So that explains what Facebook as an auction system is. You know, you can see it when setting up a campaign, you know, it's an auction-based system. So within that, you can set a manual bid. A lot of times, most of the time, you're setting up an automatic bid. You know, your bid is based on your budget, and Facebook will optimize it for, you know, whatever your budget is. However, let me take a drink of water real quick. However, you can set a manual bid, meaning you can set what you want your bid to be at the auction block. So there's 5 main manual bidding methods that you need to pay attention to. Number 1 is you start mid-range of Facebook's suggested bid. Okay, and so when you think about the suggested bid, they actually took that away from Facebook. You used to be able to see it. You could see that, you know, Facebook's suggested bid is $5 or $20 or $100. Man, oh man, you're targeting a pretty high competition niche if your bid is $100, but usually it was around $6 to $10. So you start mid-range of Facebook's suggested bid, and the way to find the suggested bid nowadays is you let your ads run baseline. So, okay, I'm getting purchases for $5. Well, I guess the bid's around $5 or so. So start mid-range of Facebook's suggested bid and increase, decrease as necessary. So you'd start, you know, your manual bid at $2 or so, $3, $4, $5. And then you increase and decrease it if you start getting sales, if you don't get sales, things like that. All right, that's the first one. Number 2 is you start low and slowly increase. Start low and go slow. So what I mean by that is you set your manual bid at $2. Okay, maybe you're getting a purchase. Maybe you're not. And then you increase it. Now it's $3 the next, 3 days. Now it's $4. Now it's $5. Now it's $6. Now it's $7. Now it's $8. Now it's $9. Okay, so you can gauge your results based on that. That's number 2, start low and go slow. Number 3 is start high and go slow. So what I mean by that is, let's say the suggested bid or your cost per conversion is around $5, because that's the example we're using. So you'd start high. Let's say you put your manual bid at $30 per purchase, per lead, per whatever you're optimizing for, and you slowly decrease it. So $30, you're getting sales. Okay, well, cool. Let's see if we can bump it down to 28. Let's see if we can bump it down to 27, 26, things like that. I hope that makes sense. So that's number 3, start high and go slow. Number 4, start really high and never change it. 2 to 3 times the suggested bid, and that's called the bully method. And some of you have heard that before, and let me explain that to you. So when you start really high, you'd set it for $30, and what you're doing is you're bullying out the other people on the auction block. You're saying, you come in and bid on the Ford Mustang. Let's say some people are bidding, $20,000, $30,000. Well, you come in, you're a high roller, you walk down a suitcase full of $70,000. You say, let me just buy it. Boom. You just kind of blew away the auction, and you come in, big britches, coming in with your big tall cowboy hat, and you say, look, man, I'm bidding $70,000 on a Mustang that's worth, whatever. Pretty much you're guaranteed to get it. Not all the time, but most of the time. And you never change it. So the way to set that up is you start really high, $30 manual bid, and you start your budget at about 3 times your manual bid. All right. So if you're getting purchases at $5 and you're setting it for 30, that's 6 times higher. And you set your budget for 3 times the manual bid. So you set your budget to $90 per day. 90 divided by, let's say you're still getting purchases at $5. So you're getting 18 purchases a day. Wow, that's right in line with, actually that's more than Facebook's suggested optimization technique of 50 conversions a week or 7 a day. So 18 divided by 7 is 2.5 times more. So your ads will get optimized really, really well. So the bully method works really well. So the bully method, once again, start really high, 2 to 3 times the suggested bid. Really, I just kind of like to put it at really high, and put your budget 3 times the suggested bid. So if you're doing $30 manual bid, then you do a $90 daily budget. All right, does that make sense to everybody? Let me check the comments real quick before I jump onto the other one. All right, good stuff. We're still good. So let me just show you how that's done. before I move on to the fifth one, because the fourth is one that works really well. All right, so you go all the way to the bottom of your ad set, optimization and delivery. So we're excuse me, we're optimizing the ads for conversions. Conversion window, you don't have to worry about that too much. And then you set your bid cap. All right, set your bid cap for 30. Okay, if your purchase is $5 each, and then you set your daily budget to 90. All right, so now you're coming in, big britches. You go to the auction block and you're like, yeah, I'm just, I can spend up to 30 bucks, and you're spending $90 a day. So Facebook's like, whoa, we got a little big spender here. So this compared with a competitor, maybe they're spending 20 bucks a day and their bid cap, well, it's auto, so they would be bidding $5 a day. So you just come in and whop down a ×6 bid cap. So you're going to get quality traffic. You're going to be put in the quality bucket. You're going to get the Mustang as opposed to them getting the Ford Focus. All right. So the fifth one is you start really high, and after you spend a lot in ad spend, you drop it super low. I haven't really tried this one yet. I may go back and try it. If you have tried this one, then comment and let me know how it works for you. But you start really high on your manual bid, okay? Let's say you put it for $50 per purchase. So you're bidding $50 per purchase. And after you spend a lot, after you get those 50 conversions a week, things like that, you drop it super low. So then you drop it to 20, heck, even 10 or something like that. So does that make sense? I haven't really used it, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. So when you're setting up manual bidding, then you still want to have it split tested. All right. So let's do the math on that. We're going to assume, a $20 bid, meaning each ad set will have a $200 daily budget, because we're going to use the bully method here. $20 bid, $200 daily budget, 10 times more. So they're actually doing, they would be doing a lot more, 200. So if you have 5 ad sets with that one, targeting, for this example, Latch Mama, what to expect when you're expecting, pink blush, a lookalike audience, things like that. If you have 5 ad sets at $200 per day, you're spending $1,000 daily budget. You're saying, whoa, that's a lot. But remember, you've found your baseline. You know what's working, okay? Maybe those 5 are your winners. So do the math on that. 10 ad sets, $200 a day, $2,000 daily budget. Remember, you don't want to jump into this right out of the gate. This is some pretty advanced stuff right here. You want to find your baseline and really just rewatch the video up until the point where I start talking about manual bidding. So that's manual bidding in a nutshell. Of course, there's more to it than that, but I don't want to get too far off the beaten track. All right, so we spent about 53 minutes covering budgets, billing, finances, things like that. I hope you got a good understanding of what needs to be done when setting up a new campaign. And if you don't, then go back and rewatch the first live, because that taught you how to set up a successful ad campaign. And then rewatch this one, and then go back and watch the stair-step conversion method, because you're going to get a good idea of how to optimize, target, and set up your ads. So what I want to do for the people that have watched it till the end is give you the notes. I want to give you the notes from this session, and I will be dropping a link into the Facebook Live, into the group, and I want to give you the notes from this session because, there's nothing more valuable than knowledge, and there's nothing more valuable than tangible knowledge, which is notes that you can print off and highlight and whatever you want to do with it. Heck, you can use it as, bookmarks. I don't care, but just use it. Just look it over. So I want to give you the notes. Let me take a look, see if there's any questions. I don't think there is. Oh, commented. Oh, that's another thing. All right, so I hope this was valuable information, and we'll be doing this again next Friday. And I haven't decided on the topic yet. There's a lot of things I could talk about. but I'll be doing it next Friday. I'll probably be putting a poll in the group as to what time works best for everybody. Maybe it's 10 a.m., maybe it's 9 p.m., maybe it's 6 a.m. I don't know. Just answer the poll and tell me what time works for you. And if you have any questions, comment on this video, message me, post in the group for your questions, and I'll be sure to answer pretty quickly. I usually am in the group really often, answering questions, things like that. For those of you who've been around for a while, you know I do a really good job of answering questions. And finally, invite others, because the best way to learn more is to share it with others and collaborate. You know, maybe somebody has an idea that you haven't even thought of. Maybe you're going to learn something from my video that you haven't even, tested yet. Or maybe it's a reiteration of things you are testing. You get, a second pair of eyes on things. So invite others to the group, and above all, just keep learning. All right, thanks for watching.